Should we talk good football then?
Yes,
Would
please.
say you?
Oh, all this debrief and nonsense. Give me some good football, would you?
Well, Chargers at Chiefs, Sunday Night Football, Chiefs with one loss.
Now we're talking.
Just squeaking out against the Panthers and Raiders. Should have lost that Vegas game. We talked about it.
Oh, yeah.
While the Chargers, they find ways to win as well. It wasn't pretty. Offense was held under 200 yards, but they beat the Falcons, who has washed up Kirk Cousins. When you see this game, though, in Arrowhead, this could be a tough test for the Chiefs. Look, their offensive line stinks. The defense isn't right. Not as good as it was last year. Mm-hmm. And what you'll get with the Chargers that you don't get with the Raiders and Panthers, a very well-coached team that won't lose the game.
Exactly. I like that you brought up against former opponents that this is a well-coached team with the Chargers. I actually don't even want to bring those opponents into it as it pertains to the Chiefs. I want to just focus on past Chargers teams. Because, look, Justin Herbert's 1-6 against Patrick Mahomes. I get it. But a lot of these games, George, they were tight. They were right there. Herbert's standing in the center of the ring with Patrick Mahomes exchanging shots in many of those games. And he lost because his coach was an absolute moron. And he would blow it down the stretch every single time. Now, I'm not letting Justin Herbert off the hook here, but half of the time he was a young QB. What are you going to do? You're going to audible at the line? You're going to spite your coach? No, you're going to do what the hell he tells you to do. And guess what? The Chargers would charger. They would blow it down the stretch in a game. They would blow it down the stretch of a regular season and miss the postseason, despite many times being the more talented team. I am willing right now, George, to bet on this Chargers team in this spot. I think the Chargers, for once, get this done. I'm taking the Chargers to win this game. For everything you said, the Chiefs struggling in recent weeks. They've been bailed out by refs. Don't even get me started there. And, of course, Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes. You got to give him credit where it's due. When it's winning time, it's time to make winning plays. He makes it happen every time. But, George, with Harbaugh now, with a real coach, with someone who's already proving that they're not going to charger their season. They are finishing now. They're finishing games. They look good here as we enter the home stretch of the regular season. Yeah. They're not faltering for once.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked at all if the Chargers win this game. That's my prediction, that they get it done.
Yeah.
But I will say this with a caveat. I still, big picture, macro, trust the Chiefs once we get to the postseason more because they're a more talented team than the Chargers. Yeah. Chargers don't quite have the horses just yet in Harbaugh year one, but I think that Harbaugh factor, being able to manage the clock, being able to manage moments, preparing his quarterback in Justin Herbert, who has already shown talent-wise he belongs in the same breath, the same conversation as Patrick Mahomes, I think the Chargers get it done here.
It's going to be a close game no matter what.
It always is.
It's divisional games. In the Chiefs, every game they've played lately has been close as well.
Game. Doesn't matter who it is.
Don't you see it? Like Chargers mounting a comeback, everyone watching, waiting for the Chiefs to fall, being how are the refs going to bail them out? And then bang, Quentin Johnston.
Yes.
Dropped pass on a fourth down conversion.
Oh, don't throw to him. Herbert should be smart enough to avoid him. You better go to Ladd.
I like the way this Chargers team is built, but no J.K. Dobbins hurts your run game.
Sure.
Sure, they got Justice Hill. They got guys that have been in Greg Roman's system, and the offensive line's been good.
Yeah.
This Chiefs defense is best stopping the run. They have good cornerbacks. They have a good secondary. I don't hate putting the ball in Justin Herbert's hands. For me, I think the Chiefs at home, it's Sunday night. I just think they find a way to pull it off. I think it's going to be ugly. But I just think it's going to be like a 1-point victory for KC.
Oh.
That's what it is.
That's what they do.
And that's what it was. 2 points against the Raiders, just a 3-point win against the Panthers. Mm-hmm. When these two teams met, now it was back in early September, 17-10.
Well, yeah,
it's one-score outcomes.
Right.
Yeah, completely different teams now. Yeah. And if anything, this Chargers team has gotten better.
Yes.
The defense does worry me at times, though, like how they let Cincinnati back into that game. Letting up 30 against the Ravens, which is a really good offense, so I'm not going to fault them for that. And then just coming off the stinker against the Falcons. When you're in a dome at Atlanta, now you're going to be outdoors.
Well, that was a stinker offensively. Defensively, they picked Kirk Cousins off 4 damn times.
Yeah, Mahomes, he's been prone for turnovers. He's not like Kirk Cousins.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying,
I get it.
On one side of the coin, it was a stinker offensively. But on the other side, they play really well defensively, which, by the way, if you're not going to blow it, down the course of a season, down the stretch of a season. Defensively is usually how you get it done. So in that building, in their practice facility, you know damn well Harbaugh's preaching defense, don't shoot yourself in the foot offensively, which is maybe why I was a little more conservative against Atlanta. But I don't know. I think and it's not taking anything away from Andy Reid, but I just think there's something to be said for coaching in this game in particular, for the Chargers franchise in particular, and what they've dealt with in the past. They are trying to exercise all those demons. This is the perfect spot to do it. Prime time against I think can we agree on this term, a vulnerable Chiefs team?
No, for
is
sure.
that fair? Okay.
They look worse than they did last year, but they end up winning the Super Bowl. But
vulnerable
they look worse than they
Chiefs
did last year.
team. Big stage, road.
Yeah.
This feels like a Harbaugh special to me, man. It really does. This is where Jim Harbaugh flourishes. I could see the Chargers coming in here, getting this upset. Everyone goes crazy. Maybe we're not taking the Chargers serious. And then really, no, when we get to the playoffs, you'll see they don't have what they need just yet. But Harbaugh, this is what he does. These are the kind of games that he wins.
And it's a desperation of Chargers are playing for a wild card spot.
That's right.
Chiefs are desperate to play for
1 seed.
Yeah. Both have a lot in line. Andy Reid against Jim Harbaugh, underrated coaching matchup here.
Oh my God. We talked about this. Harbaugh,
should I bet
Reid, freaking Sean Payton, all in the same division. Prime time coming to Vegas.
Yeah, all of a sudden this division is going to be hard. Am I looking at it the wrong way?
What do you mean?
Quentin Johnson just keeps popping in my face.
No.
Or should I see Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh? I'm inclined to take the points. It's a 4-point spread. I'm taking. And Lad McConkey gets open. He gets open.
Throw to Lad.
He was a pro-ready receiver.
Late game, stay away from Johnson. Throw to Lad. Fair?
You think Chargers win, huh?
Yeah, I do. I'll give you a score. I'll go 27. I like your 1 point. I'll go 27-26. Chargers. You said 1 point, but you're going Chiefs. What's your score? 1 point.
If I think it's just going to be ugly, 20-19.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Field goals, mixed extra points.
Ooh.
Comes down to a kicker.
Well, yeah, listen, to be fair to you, if that game script goes accordingly, Chiefs win that game all day.
What worries me is the Falcons looked like they had a pass rush against the Chargers. And the Falcons haven't had a pass rush all season long. So Chiefs are good at stopping the run. Really good defensive line with George Karlaftis and Chris Jones.
Yeah.
And if you made the Falcons look good, we have a skilled offensive line. We'll see how healthy they are. We'll see how good they are when it comes to Sunday night. If you're not going to be winning at the line of scrimmage, I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's where it all starts and ends, right? But again, if it's an ugly game, because Lord knows the Chiefs haven't gotten any style points all season. So if it's an ugly game like that, then you could be right. I just think we're going to see a very buttoned up, ready to go, prepared. Yeah. Same stuff we absolutely obliterate Jerome Mayo for, rightfully so. You'll see the opposite with the Chargers. This is what elite coaching looks like. I just think you have to be prepared in this kind of scenario. Playoff, as you said, playoff implications on both sides for both teams. On the road, big stage here. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go Chargers. I think this is when coaching, again, I feel weird saying this because Andy Reid's on the other damn sideline. I'm taking nothing away from him. But I'm giving more credit here in this moment to Jim Harbaugh. I think they'll be ready to go. I'm taking the Chargers.
Hey, this is huge for the Chiefs. You have the Chargers at home. Then 3 of your last 4 games are all on the road. And it's at Cleveland. That team can surprise you. Jameis can throw it.
They're going to beat them.
Defense isn't bad, though. Hey, this Chiefs team's bad. The offensive line is terrible. At Pittsburgh, at Denver. 3 of their last 4 games. The other home games against Houston.
Man, you could lose a couple of those. By the way,
you could lose 3 games.
Since you're bringing it up, Chargers I'm looking at. So obviously we have this Chiefs game. Then you're home against the Bucks, home against Denver. We know the New England game is here. And then you go on the road against Vegas. Am I nuts? I mean, seeing how this Chiefs game goes, outside of that, I think they could win out.
Yeah.
They could beat the Bucks. They could beat the Broncos. They damn sure are going to beat New England here, and then they could beat Vegas. They could win out. That's what I'm saying. This is a changing of the guard, George. This is a spot. This is where if you gamble, you roll the dice right here. This is a moment because this could be a watershed moment. You look at that schedule the rest of the way out for the Chargers as opposed to the Chiefs, who's hellacious. The Chargers schedule is easy, in theory, on the rest of the way out here.
Yeah.
So this is where you roll that dice and you say, man, can Harbaugh go ahead and get this done, and then they have a soft landing spot on the other side of this Chiefs game. I'm rolling the dice, George. I'm a riverboat gambler.
Chiefs have to look out for that 1 seed in the AFC.
They better.
They stumble. They lose against the Chargers. They're going to have to go through Buffalo again.
Or Pittsburgh.
Buffalo.
I'm just saying. They're right there, too.
Both tough places.
Both tough. And by the way, Mahomes has done it. It's not foreign to think he can't, but they'd much prefer with this team to be at home.